So I'm back. Came back out to the farm. I got Hendrix with me.
I'm a deer! That hurt my throat.
Not really warmer today, but it's sunnier today. So it's gonna be a little different situation for hunting. Hendrix, you're not tall enough, bro. I got my other camera, so I'm gonna take this camera out with me, the one I'm looking at right now. And I'm gonna take that and have it mounted. Hopefully I'll get some better shots of any deer that I see tonight. After editing the video, I was kind of really disappointed, even with the 4K and zooming in down to 1080. You really couldn't see the deer. I figured out what I did yesterday in that video. In the heat of the action, I had my phone out for a little bit while that deer was coming in. And then when I felt it was gonna get close, I put it away. But I was videotaping a young buck coming in, and I thought it was. And I switched it to photo. So I was just basically taking a bunch of photos of this deer. You know, it was a great first night. I haven't had a first night like that in 4 or 5 years. You know, every year is different, but you know, with the land that I hunt right now, with this land out here the way it is, the way it's always been, I got about 160 acres to the west of me that isn't hunted. No, nobody's hunted that for as long as I've been alive. The owners, they don't allow hunting. They used to have cattle in there, and even with their cattle gone, they still don't allow people to hunt. And then to the south of me, it's pretty much 300 acres of just field. People do hunt there, but they don't hunt till gun season, as far as I know anyway. That gives me like 4 more weeks to get a buck before somebody steals it. Yep, I said it. I said steal it. I washed my clothes again because they were so wet. I didn't want them to get all mildewy. So the land that I can hunt is 60 acres, but there's only about 5 acres of, I don't even think it's 5, it's probably like 3 acres of woods, hundreds of yards of fence row. And the farthest east end, it's a house. So if they come up the fence row, they're in the fence row. So I can't really hunt anywhere in the fence row except where I am down at the end, because it's a funnel for the deer to come through. I don't have a whole lot of hunting ground. I mean, I've kept the stands in the same places for the last 10 years. I mean, I've changed trees, but like within 10 yards of the other tree I was using. So I've changed trees over the years, but for the main part, I pretty much hunt the exact same area of the property because it's very limited to, you know, where they go. It's very limited. You know, I literally have 2 stands to hunt. I have the woods to hunt, but there's not really a lot of bedding in that woods, so I rarely ever see them in the woods, and when I do see them in the woods, they're usually the small does. So the other thing too is last night, I charged my batteries for my GoPros. I charged them all day yesterday. I said that, you know, they were working. I get out to the stand, I turn them on, make sure the battery that's in there is charged and whatnot. As soon as I turn them on, when the deer come in, they're dead. I don't know, like if the cold couldn't have drained them, right? And I see people making snowboard videos and jumping out of helicopters and in the mountains and stuff. There's no way the cold could have drained them. So I don't know. I shouldn't say there's no way, but I don't believe that the cold drained them. Anyways, I'll see you in the stand. I made it to my stand. I'm trying to get this stuff open. Definitely not moving my mouth on this bag. It already smells. It's not even open. It shows I got 99% battery with 3 hours of recording time. I have 5 other batteries. If it doesn't work tonight, something's wrong. I'll see you when the deer come. Nice night. It's nice and clear. It's just a little windy, but a couple of the windiest days I ever hunted, I saw the biggest bucks I ever seen. So they move later, but they do move. I'm lucky I decided to take a second to talk to the camera because my beep, I don't know what you call it, I guess it's just beep, but my beep was on my camera, so when I hit record it beeped. I thought I had already turned it off. I guess I turned something else off, so I don't know what I turned off. I'll have to figure that out when I get home. Well, I've been using these cameras 2 years. I should know that by now. I'm hoping to get some activity tonight. I don't think I'm gonna get to hunt tomorrow. There was deer in front of my other blind this morning, stand this morning, and that's actually where I hunt usually in the mornings. And I didn't get to hunt this morning because I had to take my wife to the airport. leaning as far as I can over to the left so I can get a good shot of the turkeys. So I had to, when I turned, she saw me, and I just did freeze mode. I was frozen, most awkward position. My back is like sore. They walked down to where I had the salt block last year, and they're drinking that water. Must be like mineral water or something. I don't know why the deer are still attracted to that area where I put that mineral block well over a year ago. The wind is making it kind of hard to determine the difference between like just the leaves falling and squirrels and deer. But it's really wet all over the place. Like behind me on a neighboring property, I'd say a large portion of the couple acres that are right there beside me is covered in mud and water. So I'm hoping that if I can hear one walking through that water, I'll be able to be prepared. That's the one thing I don't like, is not being able to be prepared. And I'm already on edge because that doe really caught me off guard. I did not hear her at all. I didn't hear her coming. I didn't expect any deer to come from the east. I mean, I guess if they're bedded down, they don't see me walk in, but I feel like if they're in that fence row, it's pretty easy to see me walk in. So they really caught me off guard. See you in a little bit. The night ended up being a pretty good night. Nothing really happened until like the last hour. You know, in that last hour, the deer floodgates just kind of opened. I mean, there was probably a good 10 behind me. A couple bucks came in from the west side. It looked like they were sparring or they were digging at something. I'm not real sure what they're doing. It was hard to tell the size of the deer. You know, I had my long lens on my camera, so I was kind of just judging everything based off what I could see in my viewfinder. There's 3 bucks that I've seen on my camera, and if they show up, then I'm definitely going to try to shoot them. Last year, the buck that I shot, I didn't see all year on camera. I never saw him once. So I'm not going to not shoot a good buck if it shows up, but in my head, I'm just waiting on one of these 3 bucks to show up. When I saw this deer in the distance, I had no desire to shoot it. I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep my bow on the hanger. And then as I had him in the long lens and he got closer, I was like, that might be a shooter buck. So I basically took the camera and I set it up to the first spot because I knew he was going to go behind me and then possibly go around and then into the bean field in front of me. So I set the camera up and I didn't want to be moving it around and stuff while the deer are in front of me. So I just pointed it right at the first spot that the deer could possibly walk in. So I'm waiting, and I can hear him. I'm like, okay, this is it. You know, I'm going to decide. If I say that I'm going to shoot this deer, I'm going to shoot this deer right here at this spot. It's about to walk right into the front of the camera, pokes its head out, and it's that doe and the 2 fawns that were in front of me earlier. And so I don't know where that buck went. I assume he probably went through the woods and then went south. The tree line goes for 200 or 300 yards south, so I mean, it probably just followed that tree line south. You know, it's hunting. That's just the way it is. It was another good night though. I've been out twice this year and this is the most deer I've seen in like the last 5 or 6 years combined. You know, if you like the hunting and outdoor stuff, just, you know, subscribe because I'm going to be making a video at least every time I go out. Plus I'll be doing, you know, that daily, you know, vlog type stuff. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment down below, hit that like button, all that stuff that every other YouTuber tells you to do. I gotta go.